What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great day. Yeah, tomorrow's Monday, first day of the week. 2 weeks and 2 days away from the Cowboy players reporting for training camp. I don't know about you, I'm excited. I'm happy. I am so ready for us to be talking about players on the field. You know, it was crazy because I saw Mike Fisher was talking about somebody was putting out there that the Cowboys should trade or thinking about trading DeMarcus Lawrence to get some cap room. And basically, Mike Fisher actually debunked that it would actually cost the Cowboys to get rid of him and so on. And then, of course, you wouldn't have his services for this year. I'm just ready for real talk, real stuff actually happening. We had an interesting discussion today during our members call-in show. And it was kind of cool, or not really cool, actually more wide awakening, because we did an exercise that was actually really interesting, to say the least. We went through and we said, let's go position by position and compare where this Cowboys team, in recent history, this Cowboys team versus the 90s Cowboys versus the 70s Dynasty Cowboys. And what's crazy is, when you start looking at it, there's very few players that are on the current Cowboys that would be starters on those 90s and 70s teams. Yeah, Micah Parsons could be. Yes, Diggs, if healthy, probably could be. But when you look at the rest of that defense, who else do you see? You know, you could put Deron Bland, but Deron Bland still has a lot to learn as far as covering guys. Great pick magnet, great at getting the football, but still has more to learn. On the offensive side, you could say Zach Martin, and you could say Tyler Smith. I can't say Dak over Dak over Troy Aikman or Dak over Roger Staubach. I certainly can't take Zeke Elliott over Emmitt Smith or Tony Dorsett. And I'm not ready to take Jake Ferguson over Mike Ditka, Jay Novacek, not yet. So as we start to look at this, and think about this for a second, I'm going to ask a real question. As I think through the Dallas Cowboys, when I think about Michael Irvin and Jay Novacek and things, and I think about Alvin Harper, and I think about Emmitt Smith, and I think about Troy Aikman, I think about Eric Williams and Nate Newton and Mark Spiknowski and Kevin Gogan and Mark Tuinei, Moose Johnson. Tell me where there's a weak spot on that offense. Tell me where there's a weak spot on that offense. Seriously. There's not. And even with all of that greatness, I'm going to ask you a question here too. Because we constantly say that, Dak Prescott, he's a garbage-ass quarterback. He can't win it. I hear what you're saying, but let me ask, when did they ask Troy Aikman to win it all by himself? Real question. You remember when, after winning the Super Bowl, Emmitt Smith held out for 2 games? Did they say, hey Troy, we got this great team. You got Jay Novacek, you got Alvin Harper, you got Michael Irvin, you got Moose Johnson, you got a great offensive line. Why don't you go win these next 2 games without Emmitt Smith? We got you, bro. How about this? One of the most heroic games that I ever remember. Emmitt Smith against the New York Giants separates his shoulder. Literally can't raise his arm. Did they go, hey, Troy, we need you to go out here and win this game for us? They didn't do that, did they? They said, Emmitt, you still got one arm and two legs. Get a step. Roger Staubach. The most incredible play ever seen. The Hail Mary, when everything was on the line. But even Roger Staubach, Roger will tell you, it didn't matter. It didn't matter how good a pass I threw if Drew Pearson didn't catch it on the other side. Didn't matter what he did, the guy on the other side doesn't do the other side, doesn't do the other part. And that's the truth. It's not one guy. It's never been one guy. It's a team. We have to start recognizing that, because Jerry Jones has forgotten that it's a team sport. He keeps thinking, it's just the quarterback, just the quarterback. And so many of you, it's just the quarterback, it's just the quarterback. But as you keep talking about, I'd take Justin Herbert, I'll take Josh Allen, I'll take Lamar Jackson. Guess what? Those guys aren't enough by themselves. They're just not. They never could be. Not without the people around them. So until the Joneses wake the F up and remember that, we're going to be a good team. You got a quarterback, make you relevant, make you a playoff team, but that quarterback is not enough by himself. Y'all can talk about how great Tom Brady is, but you know what? Having that guy Gronk and Aaron Hernandez alongside him there for many of those years, having a great coach, all those things you need to win. So, that's my spiel for tonight. We got some great news. Randy Seitz is back home after a couple of months of a head-on collision that basically the impact was at 150 miles an hour. Randy is very fortunate to be here and alive. It's not been easy for him. He's got a tough road to hoe, but he's still here with us. Tyree Jackson, Leo Bridgewater is friends with the guys that were in the car with him. And that was tough for him today. And it makes you realize how precious life is. I want to say something, and I don't know if it's something to worry about or not to worry about. I have been having, maybe it's been out in the heat too much and things, or what. But my memory has been a little bit off. And I have kind of made a few more mistakes than I usually do. Like today I was trying to remember Mike Nolan. Mike Nolan. I think I said Nolan Ryan. I knew it was Nolan. Just couldn't remember if it was Nolan or Nolan. I couldn't remember it. I've had a couple of times where it's like I see the person, I just can't get the name out, the word out. I do know that I'm getting older. I'll be 59 come October, a few more months. I have been hitting the head a lot. And I hope it's not the beginning of dementia setting in. But that's more the reason why you got to make the most of every day. It was funny because I was working on that sink, got the antique sink, and I built a stand for it. My wife, when we woke up this morning, she said, I would love for us to work on that screened-in porch. It's not screened in, we took the screens out. But to get the sink hooked up, and there's an old Hoosier cabinet that was here in the house when we got it. And it was in bad shape, like the house. But we started working on that. I got the sink hooked up today, so it actually, the sink works. Cleaned it up, sent pictures of the guy that I bought it from, and he can't believe it's the same sink. And I was sitting here thinking about people who lived here. It's about maybe like 1910, that cabinet was. People who lived here, that cabinet was part of their daily life. When they're making some bread or cake or prepping dinner, putting their slices and stuff in there. And there's something that's kind of cool about that. So when I went to Lowe's, because I needed to get some big washers for the faucet to put on there, there was an older lady who was there. She had a filter and things and stuff. And she looked over at me and she said, "You're Mark Holmes." I said, "Yeah." She said, "What you've done with that house is incredible." She said, "I've watched you for a long time." She said, "Because I remember when you used to work at the Smithsonian." I'm like, "Oh, you have been watching," because that was probably about 6 years ago. She said, "Yeah." She said, "I was wondering, were you traveling all the way from here, all the way to there and that stuff?" I said, "No." I said, "I was living, that's when I was up in Northern Virginia and things." And she got talking, because then she asked me, she pulled out a picture, and she said, "Does this look like the right filter for this?" And I said, "It's kind of hard to tell the size and everything from the picture." I said, "Can you take the filter out of it?" She said, "Well, my husband was the plumber, and he died about 1.5 years ago and stuff." She said, "I used to help him a lot and stuff with it, with stuff," and said, "So I know how to take it out. I just couldn't remember which one it was." And I was telling her about if she could take it out, the better place to go would be the plumbing supply house, Chevron's, and things. But that's where you realize, again, all these signs that are around us and things about being fortunate to be here. She just lost her husband 1.5 years ago. NFL player, just drafted, gone. Then you see Randy, fortunate to still be here. And me, maybe, I don't know. All I know is life is short and life is precious. I'm sure y'all get tired of hearing me say that every day, but it's the truth. Make the most of it. Tell the people you love how much you love them. You might not get the chance again, good people, and I love y'all. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.